Shalom. First and foremost, I give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakahakodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Red Millstone who ruled well and taught me this truth. Peace, blessings, salutations, and mercies to the elect, and the 1/3 remnant out there listening, doing this word with all faith and sincerity, scattered amongst the nations and the four corners of the earth. To you I say shalom, Lord willing. This video is edifying. It's going to be centered around the topic of Jacob's trouble and how the vast majority of Jakes are about to be taken out. Okay, little do they know it. You know, they walk around, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, for the most part, walk around clueless, completely indoctrinated in this modern society and their place in it. Okay? 2026 and niggas still don't know the history. Niggas believe that things have changed. Like, they're not looked at the same way in which they were looked at. And then they sit back, and once we try to tell them, you sit back and try to tell Jake, no, you know, it's more to you than just what meets the eye of the Edomite, right? You're more than just an athlete. You're more than just a rapper or entertainer. You're an Israelite. You're the Lord's chosen people, all right? And, oh, what the hell? And what supports that is the scriptures and the prophecies. Jake does not accept that. Jake adamantly fights against it. Okay, so the Lord ultimately is gonna fight against you. What does it say in Proverbs? Matter of fact, we're gonna get it. This is Proverbs 1:25. But ye have set at not all my counsel, and with none all of my reproof. Right? So the counsel of the Lord, you guys set aside. We out there telling you and trying to get you to wake up, right? Telling you to cut them dreads. All right, a man should not have long hair. Okay, you shouldn't be calling on the names Jesus, the Christ, and Jehovah, or whatever the fuck. You know, it's the new trend to call Yahweh or Yahushua. Okay. You should be learning moral conduct, not to be having sex with men's wives. Okay, women, only have sex with your husband. Okay, be obedient. Very simple things. Okay. Very simple things, but this society has made it so taboo. All right, just something as simple as a lineup is looked upon as just like odd, you know. If you don't have a lineup, now people looking at you a certain type of way. Okay, if a woman is, not out here in the streets, jumping from rod to rod, she's looked at a certain type of way. They call her a pick-me because everything has been made upside down. This place is completely defiled. Okay. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. So the Lord, he said when it comes. He didn't say if. Okay. So the Lord is going to laugh when it's time for you to meet adversity and judgment, which is coming. He said he's going to bring a time, a tribulation in the likes in which there has never been. Okay, this is Matthew 24, and 21. For then shall there be, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So something like this has never happened on the scale in which is about to happen. And it's never going to happen like this again. What exactly is that? Kasaja. Okay, that's the famine, the pestilence. Okay, we're about to see mass amounts of death. The draft is coming. These wars are going to only escalate and continue to get more and more hostile, right? Get more and more violent. They're going to, in nature. Okay, domestic terrorist events. Okay, Trump already said he's going to run for a third term. He's already announced it. Salakia. And people take it as a joke. He's actually going to do it. He said we got to solve the problem of these elections. Meaning he ain't trying to have none. Right? Meaning the problem is they're going to want him out of office and he can't have that. Okay, because there's an agenda that must be met. Okay, and best believe before his term ends, he's gonna cast America into a very unforgiving situation, just so he won't have to leave office. Because he leaves office, they already convicted him of felons, right? All type of felonies. They could very well persecute him for it. So he's not trying to leave office. And except those days be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Right, so for the sake of the elect, these days shall be shortened, because if, what does it say? No flesh will be saved if it weren't for the elect. Right? So the Lord is coming to deliver the elect from out of this tribulation, out of this hell that's coming. Okay? And the Lord compared it from a wave to a drop. Meaning not a lot of people are gonna make it. Okay, this is Jeremiah 30:6. Ask ye now, see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness, right? So, a lot of people are going to be in shock. They're not going to understand or comprehend just the sheer shock value of what the world is about to see is going to bring a lot of men to their knees. And we live in a society and a culture where men are already made weak. All right? Already weak. Effeminate. Demasculated. Soft. Okay? So when they start seeing this great violence, martial law troops, insurrections, ain't no food in Walmart or a fucking grocery outlet or Food for Less or fucking Piggly Wiggly, wherever the fuck. Food Lion, Super King, all these places run dry. Okay, gas prices $12 a gallon, and continuing to rise. People are gonna lose it. They're not gonna understand. There's gonna be a lot of heartache out there, man. A lot of people are gonna be, having mental breakdowns. Okay? They're not going to understand it. That's when they're going to seek answers. And that's when they're going to realize that videos like this was warnings. Okay? And we weren't joking. That's what's going to make the men of the Lord so precious, because they're going to say, hey, these people knew. Right? Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of trouble. So like it is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he should be saved out of it. Right. Time of Jacob's trouble. Because at the same time, there's going to be a persecution upon those that fear the Lord. Okay, you Israelites are about to be persecuted. You think ICE was bad, or the Ku Klux Klan and all this other, Jake has come to fear these different entities, but they haven't seen nothing yet. Because nobody's going to step in and save. Nobody's going to talk about humanitarian rights and all this shit. They're just going to be laying you down, and that's it, right? Forced to comply. You're going to have to comply if you don't want to get laid down. And that's why a lot of people are going to take that chip out of fear, right? And out of want of all things. They're going to want things to just go back to the illusion of normal. Like in the Matrix, the blue pill. They're just going to want the blue pill and be willing to do anything for it. To forget. Okay? This is Ezekiel 9:4. And Yahweh Shema Shah said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Right. So the Lord said he wants to, he's sending the angels out to take note of the men who are truly wanting this place to be destroyed and wanting our Lord to make his return. Okay, and not just saying that because it's gonna, put some dollars in their pocket. Because you ask a pastor all day, of course he's gonna say yes. He's waiting for Jesus to return, but they don't really mean that, because when you start going into the scriptures, and all of a sudden, you see that switch, right? So the Lord wants the sincere, those who are calling on his name. That's the biggest indicator. What names are you calling on? Yahweh or Yahweh Shah or Jesus the Christ? Okay. It's a big difference. All right. And to the others, he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. So the Lord said he's not going to have pity on those who are not of that remnant. Okay? They're not going to have any reception of his mercies. Okay? They're going to get, dealt with, belt to ass, right? Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they begin at the ancient men which were before the house, right? And we've seen the Lord dealing with a lot of ancient men of the house of Israel, those who were, teachers and all that, back in the olden days, so to speak, right? In the youth of this ministry, okay? And we know that, I believe only the Apostle Tahar, okay, and maybe General Yohana, Nate are the only, remnants of that old generation, okay, that are left. Okay, so the Lord's going to bring judgment upon all those who continue not in the faith, right? And then he's going to bring, he said, children, little children and women and maids. So women twice. So women, there's going to be a lot of women that's out there, really feeling it. They're going to get the brunt of it because they've been uplifted so high in this society and made to be so powerful. But the Lord's going to bring all that down when he collapses the system, and they're going to become vulnerable victims. Okay? It's going to happen quick. It's not going to be, it's not going to take 10, 20 years for this to happen. It's going to be, quick. It's going to happen fast. It's one day just, it's already been gradually happening, but it's going to get to that point fast, man. That's hence Isaiah 4:1. They're going to need that protection. This is Zechariah 13 and 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith Yahweh Shema Shah America, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein, right? The remnant. Okay? Lord's going to save. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call upon my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, Yahweh Shema Shah is my power, right? So they're going to well understand that, there's a separation between those who the Lord is dealing with or not. Okay, because we're going to make it through adversity, Lord, we're part of that number. We're going to make it through the hell, the famine, the pestilence. Not only just make it through, we're going to have abundance. But people are suffering. We're going to be, not. We're going to be married. We're going to be, in very good positions. Okay? And people are going to realize it then. Okay? Because the Lord does not, who has ever called on the Lord and perished, right? He doesn't forget about his, right? So that's why we're exercising that faith now, because we want in that day for the Lord to come through for us. So with that, all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakodash, Wa Abba Babal, and DTA, DTN.